كوستي ولا من سنار ولا يا أخ من وين فين طالق النار.
Sudan is located in northeastern Africa. It used to be the largest African country prior to the separation of South Sudan in 2011. On July 9, 2011, South Sudan was declared an independent country after the Comprehensive Peace Agreement ended the Civil War of 1955. Sudan is surrounded by countries such as Chad, Egypt, Ethiopia, and others. External influences on Sudanese food can be traced to Syrian traders and Arabic settlers from the Mediterranean. Spices like garlic and peppers, specifically red pepper, along with dishes such as meatballs and pastries, which were not well known in Sudan until they were introduced. There have been many debates about the ethnicity of the Sudanese, which previously led to the conflict between North and South Sudan. This conflict with identity crucially impacts on social and political issues, as some Sudanese people identify with the African cultures, whereas others identify with Arabism. Approximately 65% of the Sudanese people are Muslim, while 25% follow traditional indigenous beliefs, and the remainder are Christians. It is commonly known that most who follow the Muslim practices are located in the northern regions, while the others are in the south. The number of Sudanese people living abroad is estimated to be 1.2 million, with most of these people residing in countries with low to medium human development, such as neighbouring African countries like Chad, Uganda, Ethiopia, and Kenya. The growing number of Sudanese refugees arriving in Australia can be attributed to the humanitarian program, which has allowed permanent resettlement to more than 10,000 Sudanese within 2013 to 2016. Sudan is one of the poorest and least developed countries in the world, as about 1/3 of its inhabitants rely on agricultural farming. As seen on the graph, majority of the population does not use improved water sources. According to the studies by the International Fund for Agricultural Development, 41% of children aged less than 5 years were underweight for their age, and more than half of people in 2007 were living under the poverty line of $1 per day. There are several factors that influence the eating habits of Sudanese people. Firstly, Sudan has a tropical climate in which mean annual temperature lies between 26 degrees and 32 degrees. However, in desert zones, it reaches 47 degrees Celsius. Rainfall is erratic and varies significantly from the north to the south. About 97% of Sudanese people are Muslim. They do not eat pork and consume alcohol. Only 3% of Sudanese are Christian and adhering to African traditional religion. Agricultural sector plays an important role in improving the economic condition of Sudan. About 80% of the country's income comes from agricultural production. Due to civil war, a lot of Sudanese are still living in harsh living conditions. They suffered from deep poverty and famine. Sudan, as one of the Afro-Arabian countries, has created gender culture around the type and quality of food for men and women. The gender inequality issue is still very obvious in the country. Men are being served first and women wait till men eat and are satisfied. Then famous eat the rest. They also believe that male body constructions need a special kind and amount of food in order to face this strong body. Eid ul-Fitr is a Muslim holiday that marks the end of Ramadan, the Islamic holy month of fasting. On the day of Eid, men and boys will attend the Eid prayer. For the next 3 days, families will then partake in visiting each other, extended family, neighbours and close friends. In these short visits, the baked goods, chocolates and sweets are served, and often large lunches are prepared for the visiting well-wishers. Eid al-Adha, Festival of Sacrifice, is a religious festival created by Muslims worldwide to commemorate the willingness of Abraham to sacrifice his son Ishmael as an act of obedience to God. Muslims who can afford to do so sacrifice their best domestic animals, usually sheep, as a symbol of Abraham's sacrifice. Sudanese people are very hospitable. Meals are eaten around a large communal tray on which various meat, vegetables, salad and sauce dishes are placed. These are eaten with the right hand using flatbread or a stiff millet porridge known as asida or kisra. The main food in Sudan is a bread called kisra, which is made of dura or corn. Kisra is taken together with a stew. The main ingredients of which these stews are made are dried meat, dried onions, spices and peanut butter. Other substances could be added, such as milk and yogurt. Miris is a stew that is made from sheep's fat, onions and dried okra. These stews are also accompanied with porridge, asida, which is made with wheat flour or corn. As for the popular appetizers in Sudan, they are made of parts of sheep, like the lungs, liver and stomach. To these are added onions, peanut butter and salt. It is eaten raw. Soups are an important component of the Sudanese food. The most popular are kawari, which is made of cattle's or sheep's hooves in addition to vegetables and spices. Also there is el musalamia, which is made with liver, flour, dates and spices. In the east, the cuisine is influenced by the Ethiopian culture. The most popular dish is the mukbaza, which is made of banana paste. As for the south, the abundance of rivers, lakes and swamps had made the people in these regions dependent on fish for their food. A popular dish is a stew named kajak, which is cooked of dried fish. It is added to the porridge. Sudanese people have several distinct beverages that are made of some fruits that grow in Sudan, like talbaldi, aradab, kakada, and gudam. In Ramadan, the Muslims' fasting month, one of their favourite drinks is the hilma, which is made from corn, flour and spices. Also, there are abrai, abiyad and nasha, which are made of corn flour also. The strong Sudanese coffee is served from a special tin jug with a long spout known as jebina. The coffee is sweet and often spiced with ginger or cinnamon and is drunk from tiny cups or glasses. Fruit teas and herbal teas such as kakadai, which is hibiscus tea, are also popular. Most people seem to have a very sweet tooth, adding lots of sugar into their cups of tea and enjoying sugary desserts. There is a type of cake called bisbosa, made from semolina soaked in syrup. There are numerous types of sweets called pasta, which are rolled in a certain way and dipped in a honey mixture. These dishes are both influenced by the Turkish cuisine. Kabaz is a type of cookie that is dipped in sugar. Ajwa is another type of cookie which is also dipped in sugar, but it is stuffed with dates. Peanuts can be prepared into delicious macaroons known as full Sudani. The meal routine consists of 2 main meals during the day. Traditionally, men and women who are going to work in the fields would have an initial drink of porridge and then have breakfast at about 10 a.m. in the morning once they have arrived at their destination. This would be a meal of cassava or sweet potato. The main meal of the day would be in the evening upon return from work. It is usually quorn with vegetables, especially green leafy vegetables or eggplant or okra, plus at least one of sweet potato, rice, cassava or pumpkin, and meat or fish. As the children grow older, more Australian type meals are being consumed. There are 2 essential flavourings in Sudanese cooking, sesame and peanuts. There are 2 types of sesame, one based on tahini is roasted, odinium, and the other based on raw sesame, simsim. In Australia, there are 2 types of peanuts added as flavouring, ground raw peanuts or ground roasted peanuts, commercially available as peanut butter, or dipu. Chili is also used but is added at the table according to personal preference. In Australia, Sudanese people use vegetable oil instead of the oil extracted from sesame paste. Many of the leafy vegetables are substituted with available Asian greens. Children consume larger quantities of soft drink and juice. Traditionally, Sudanese people produce a spirit called quit. This is a little like wine but thicker. Traditional Sudanese food can be found in Brisbane at the Woodridge train station markets and also at stores located in Logan Central markets. There are differences between Sudanese and Australian food habits. For example, in the Sudanese food culture, it is very important to share meal times with family and be physically active is essential. Their food pyramid is based on greens, cereals and fruits. The Australian guide is based on cereals, fruits and greens. However, the Australian food habits are based in the consumption of bread, milk and lots of sugary foods.
المتم عديل ولا من تنبول يا المشابه الريل الشمالية المحاذية النيل فيها شاقية محظ ضناق لك نار انت من كوستي